Good morning, afternoon or evening, depending what time it is that you're watching. 10 to 11 in the morning for me. And I am out on my CRF300L, which I've just been and picked up from the dealers. And what a day for it. Beautiful. Today and tomorrow is supposed to be like this. Tomorrow we're off doing a bit of green laning. So these are my first thoughts on the CRF300L. I've now done nearly 30 mile, 28 mile on the clock. I'll give myself a little bit of time, settle into it, just get a feel for it, and then tell you what I think. I thought about doing a bit of off-roading today as well, but I could do with being home sooner rather than later, so that's going to have to wait for the next video. So we might as well start with the obvious thing. And if you've watched other reviews, I'm sure they've all said the same thing as well, and that's the suspension. So it's completely unadjustable on the front. I believe there's only one fork spring in these. I don't know if it's left or right. And on the back, it's a non-adjustable damper brake. It does dive quite a bit. And it's not evenly balanced. So when you sit on it, the back sags a lot more than the front. Now, to be fair, I haven't set anything, I have just got on it and ridden it. So I could probably dial a little bit out of that by upping the preload on the rear. But straight away, same as everyone else, I'd recommend that you, if you're going to get one of these, put a bit of money to one side, or once you've bought it, save up a little bit. You're going to need to upgrade the suspension, whether you just want to go for a spring on the back or a whole new unit. And on the front, again, there's loads of options. Spring kits, valve kits, cartridge kits, there's all sorts of stuff. So you just need to obviously look into that, decide what you need for what sort of riding you're going to be doing. I've not decided which way I'm going to go yet, but there will definitely be an upgrade done on this in due course. I'm mainly going to be using it for green lanes. Whether I need to go to the full expense of my ability of upgrading to a full shock on the rear and cartridges and stuff on the front, or whether I could just get away with a spring kit, don't know yet. I need to do a little bit more research. But once that's out of the way, the rest of it is pretty good. The other things I don't like is this stupid brake holds arrangement, because it is right across the middle of your speed, your gear indicator, which maybe if you can count to 6 you can probably get away without using. But I'm sure something better than that could have been done. But now those two are out of the way, up to now I don't think there's anything else that I've really got a problem with. Well, the rest of it feels like your typical Honda quality. All feels fairly well put together. Everything's, you know, it feels, I'm wobbling that, it's made out of plastic. You know, it feels solid. It is a budget bike. You know, it's not going to be built to the same standard as something £10,000–15,000. You know, these are less than £6,000 on the road. So obviously there's got to be cut back somewhere, like the suspension. Otherwise you're going to be going up a price bracket and competing with things that are going to be considerably more expensive. The stock tyres feel pretty good. I'm going to be honest, I can't remember what they are. But yeah, they don't feel bad at all so far. You know, it is cold and damp. You know, they're not, it's never felt like it's going to slide or anything like that. You can feel them move around a little bit when you've got it cranked over. And if you change direction, it could be a combination of the suspension as well. It just feels like it takes the back end a little while to catch up. But I think that could be the back of the bike squatting as well as you change direction left to right. Controls all feel pretty good. They are a bit cheap looking, but they feel alright. You know, there's just a nice tactile feel to them. I'm not a fan of the horn button. I think it's a bit too big, and I'll be honest, I keep hitting it thinking it's my indicator. I think I'd prefer them the other way round. I can't remember what they are on my other bike, so I could be talking utter nonsense. But yeah, I've hit the horn a few times thinking I'm cancelling the indicators. The only other thing I've really been sort of, not warned about on the bike, but I have been told the bars are quite soft, they'll bend easy. So that's going to be on the list of upgrades. The grips, they feel a little bit plasticky. But considering I just said there's not really a lot else I don't like, I don't think I've said much good about it. The grips don't feel horrible, they're just a bit hard under your hands, but I have got quite thin gloves on as well, which probably doesn't help. While we're on the front end, the mirrors are pretty good as well. They don't vibrate around or anything, they're not rattling. You get pretty good vision out of them. But just to save me smashing them up, I'll be taking them off. I won't be using them when I'm off-roading. I've been riding now for about an hour, I say. Seat doesn't feel bad. A little bit firm. But I mean, it's never going to feel like an armchair when it's the width of a pencil, is it? But it's, you know, it's good enough, does the job. Whether you'd want to spend all day in the saddle is a different story. But so far, it's alright. There's plenty, obviously there's plenty of room on it, you can move up and down. Right at the front does feel a little bit softer. But all in all, it's alright. Fuel economy at the minute, 81 miles to the gallon I'm averaging. So this is the 300L. It's actually 280 something cc, it's not really 300. You can get a big bore kit for them which takes them up to that. I think it takes up to 301. But so far feels alright. It's at 70 mile an hour. I can't remember what it was revving at, about 6,500 revs I think at 70. You know, these are only, can't remember, 25, 27 horsepower, something like that. You know, so it's never going to rip your arms out the sockets. And I'm going to be using it mostly for off-road, so that's more than enough. Certainly for my abilities at the minute anyway. You know, quite a few of my mates started out on these on the 250. They've progressed onto things like KTM EXCFs, which easily double the power, but there's a lot more maintenance to do on them. Or you should be doing a lot more maintenance. Oil changes are a lot more regular, things like that. The service intervals, pretty much the same as you would on any other road bike. 8,000 miles I think it is for oil and valve check. Oil change and valve check, sorry. And there's a few companies making performance parts for these now, remaps, cams, things like that. So if you want to get a bit more power, that's an option you can look at. I might get one or two little bits, just give it a bit more go, but I'm not interested in going daft with it at the minute. Maybe a slip-on, get a bit more noise out of it, but yeah, we'll see. So the only bits I've got waiting for it at the minute is a bit more protection. So I've got a bash guard, replacement handguards like I said, and some frame protection. So obviously I'm still bedding this in, we're up to 38 mile. At the moment, I'm going to be honest, the brakes don't feel great. But you know, like I said, I'm still scrubbing them in. I was stopped earlier at a set of lights and I was pushing down on the front end and I actually managed to spin the wheel with the brakes on, so that's not a good sign. If it doesn't improve, I'll look at a better set of pads for it. Again, you know, this bike's built to a budget. If you want to start adding better brakes or, you know, better suspension, the price is going to jump up. The gearing's quite nice as well. You know, so it's not got a lot of power. It's fairly flexible, you know. I have managed to set off in third gear already. But it feels alright. It's not really shrugged anywhere as such so far. You know, it's not been labouring or anything like that. It's just pulled through. Get a little bit of vibration, not much. Mostly 3 feet. But, you know, with a single V-twin, anything of that ilk, you know, you're going to expect something. It's not going to be as smooth as an inline 4. Handling wise, considering that the suspension's too soft, it isn't actually bad. As I said earlier, you do feel the back sort of squat around and move a little bit. But otherwise it handles quite well. Don't take a lot of input. I mean, obviously it's a nice light bike. I think it's about 150 kilos. So yeah, overall the handling's not bad. You know, at the end of the day, you've got that cheap suspension, you've got knobbly tyres which are going to move around underneath you, so you're going to get some strange characteristics, shall we say. But it isn't bad at all. You don't tip it into a corner thinking, oh god, we're off. It's quite nice and predictable, and it's not making any sudden moves, so that's good. Obviously on these back lanes it's just quite happy flying along. Yeah, so far I'm quite happy with my purchase. No idea where Google's taking us, but sometimes when your sat nav takes you somewhere random, that's the best places you'll find. Yes, a cracking road it's found me. If you like riding on these sorts of roads, these little back lanes and stuff, this bike is fantastic for it. There we go, we'll just have a little look round it. A single disc up front, it's a Nissan caliper, so it's a good brand. I don't know if they still are. I think they used to be owned by Honda, so it's either not running or it just needs a different set of pads maybe. Halogen headlamp, just nice and cheap if you come off and smash it, rather than an LED unit. Your front indicators double up as daylight running lights as well. On this model, comes with a radiator guard, which is a nice touch. It's a nice looking thing. What are the tyres again? IRC Trails, whatever they are. Yeah, never heard of them, but they'll do for now. This is a bit ugly, could do with a tail tidy. I'll have a look into one of them. Oh, and you get a little toolbox there and a nice 80s helmet lock. So yeah, good looking bike, I like it. What's the back? Single disc again, obviously, another Nissan caliper. So yeah, they're a good brand. Probably a set of budget pads in there. Something to upgrade in the future. Especially as it's only just holding it on this hill, which isn't very steep. I recognise this road now. That's one of the trails that we do. I'm not going to do it now. So going back to fuel economy, I've now down to half a tank and it's showing 50 miles exactly. So hopefully at the minute I'm looking at about 100 mile out of a tank of fuel. Oh, so the bike's brand new, it's not ran in, so everything's tight. So I'd expect that to increase slightly as time goes on. So I don't think there's much else I can tell you at the minute about this until I get a few more miles under my belt or get a few accessories fitted. So if you've liked the video, give me a thumbs up. If you haven't, thumbs down as usual. Leave me a comment, tell me what you thought. If you ring that bell and hit subscribe, any more videos, obviously you'll get a notification. And there'll be a bit more content coming on this as I get out, start doing some lanes on it, which I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to get myself a cup of tea. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.